looking for? Oh. Hello. Oh, yeah, my cold. Hello and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So what's eating you? Y'all know I'm looking confused. I'm confused. Oh, y'all, hold on. Let me fix this. Mm, mm, mm. Woohoo! Oh, hey y'all. Logan, you sound like a kid. Don't make me block you, little Logan. Little Logan. Uh-huh. Happy Sunday. Hello, Alfreda. Y'all, I would have came earlier, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I fell asleep. Oh, I really wanted to come earlier. I fell asleep. And then I was going to write down things to talk about, and I didn't do that either. I didn't do that either. I know I had something to say. Something happened in the world of gossip. Something happened in the world of gossip. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Long hair don't care. Girl, this is fake. Mm-hmm. But my hair has gotten the longest it's been ever. Child, this time change already has me I'm messed up. Wait now. Did it go ahead or back? Fall ahead. Wait now. Spring forward. Is it spring forward? Fall back. I'm going to be messed up for a while. I'm going to be messed up for a while. I think the morning is what really get us. But it was nice out here on the East Coast today. We had a decent day. It was like 60 degrees. We're supposed to get like oh. Hi, Matthew. I thought you was about to. Hello. Yes, spring. Yeah, it always gets. Well, I'll be messed up for a few days. But our day was nice. I mean, because we went through a really bad cold spell with winter storms and all that. So, on the weekend, only once a week. If you gotta ask if you for a friend if you're an alcoholic, then you might be in trouble with alcohol. You might be in trouble with alcohol. Yeah, I did, Matthew. You know, these kids be harassing me. And as soon as I think it's one of them, they get blocked. But yeah, you might be an alcoholic, sure. You have to look at your heredity. You know, are there alcoholics in your family? Do you drink at times when you really shouldn't drink, like at your job? Do you drink to drunkenness? You know, are you obnoxious when you drink? So if you ask yourself certain questions, you know, then you could be an alcoholic. You could be an alcoholic. But if you're still asking yourself, then you got a good chance of changing the behavior. You really do, in my opinion. But that's one place you don't want to be is in addiction. Addiction is very, 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 very difficult. Hi, Hillbilly. Very difficult to overcome. Anyway, welcome to day 2 of my 30-day, nothing good comes out of a hillbilly, nothing, of my 30-day live stream challenge. Whew, y'all don't know how hard this is for me because I literally just woke up out of a 2-hour nap. Normally, I just would have went to bed. But I said, nope, 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 nope. I'm going on live. This is day 2. Thank you. But, yes, alcoholism and any addiction is a bitch. 12 years. Oh, thank you, Jesus. So proud of myself. Oh, and helping other people. That's the only way to the community support. It's the community support. I don't care what type of programs are out there. AA and NA will always be my go-to referral. You know, it's free. There's, support from your brother and your sister who is also experiencing the same shit. You get yourself a sponsor. You go to meetings, you do your 30-30, you do your 60-60. You do whatever it takes. You will do it with the support and help. Thank you, Cindy. With the support and help of NA and AA. And I know people, who are very wealthy and they go to their free meetings, NA and AA. They get them a cup of coffee and they go sit down in the meetings, closed or open, and they read a good book. I could say one person with my platform that I know I'm doing good with my channel. Absolutely. I didn't know you had a channel. I got to come over there. Sexy girl, I can't get clean no matter what the fuck I do. I'm dying for my, oh no, sexy, go to Hillbilly's channel. Don't say that. Go to Hillbilly's channel. Go find help, find support. Every day, every hour that you stay clean and sober is, you won the race. You won the race. You can do it. You can do it, honey. Oh, it's I know it's hard. I ain't never had no addiction like that, but I can imagine how difficult. Fentanyl, oh shit. That's okay. Fentanyl is a deadly bitch, ain't she? Whew. I always said, however it's getting in this country, if we could just figure out how to stop it, But they are killing the American people, with the addiction of fentanyl, all the opiates, all of them. But fentanyl is a bitch. And I heard somebody say who's in addiction, he's addicted to cocaine, but he made a point of saying how fentanyl and the opiates get into the bones. It gets in the bones. It's like a bone disease. Now, of course, anybody can, you can beat it. I know people that can beat it, but Jesus, it's rough. It's a very potent opiate. It's the worst. But there's help. There's help. And it depends. If you're a believer in Suboxone or methadone, I've seen it work wonders for people. People say, oh, you're not clean because you on Suboxone or methadone. I will say this. You ain't going to be out there hitting people in the head and selling your ass. If you want a good dose of methadone or Suboxone, and you got yourself, yes, it does eat the bones away. If you got yourself a good therapist, you got a good team around you, and you're going to go to NA and AA, you can beat this thing. You can. Hold on, let me go back up. The default referral for drug and alcohol addiction is incarceration. That's it. Or death. itching through the bones like cancer. Yes, that's what I heard someone say who is fighting his addiction. Suboxone is different. It's a opiate blocker. Yes, it's a blocker. Methadone is a blocker too, and it works. I don't think what I don't like. I know out here where I live, we put support around methadone treatment with a counselor, therapist, a psychologist. Like you get a team, you get your NA counselor. But unfortunately, in some states, the client can just go in and buy Suboxone and leave without any support. And I don't think that's the best way to do it. It's not. Sexy, you tried everything and you're going to try everything again until it works. Keep going. Keep going. What's your drug of choice? Crack? I got NAA and I still do counseling. Most of my clients did. They do NAA, they get a sponsor, they still go to therapy because in therapy, we think like what came first? Like, was it childhood trauma? Was it adult trauma? What happened in your life that you leaned on a substance to get you through it? So you still need the psychotherapy. You still need that. And you also need, because a lot of psychotherapists are not drug counselors. So you need that too. And you need a good sponsor. I believe in the sponsorship. No help in Arizona. I believe it. I believe it. It's hard. It's hard, but you can do it. It's hard, but you can do it. And that's the first step is really, and I'm sure you've been to NA and AA and going through the 12 steps and do it again. And that's the thing about it. Nobody is going to judge you in those rooms. Now, some of the rooms is hardcore. They don't play no games. They don't play no games. They don't. But at the end of the day, they're there to support you because they know what it is. It takes the cravings away to restore that part of the brain that makes you feel. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, sexy, don't say that. Don't say it. Look at you. Call yourself sexy. You can call yourself sexy, Scorpio queen. Girl, you better show the world you're a queen. You can do it. You will do it. Anyone to go to Suboxone clinic that will help you. They set you up. They do. I mean, some. I ain't like. I don't like them like that. I think any clinic that is not just letting you buy it and go out the door, but if they have a team support for people, you can do it. I think that's a better way. Now, some people, it works for them. I say whatever works for you to keep you clean and sober, yeah, and it's a healthy thing, then do it. Who the hell am I to say, oh, you should do it this way? No, do it the way it works for you. Well, I mean, the higher power. NA and AA is Christian based, honey, because they know they can't do it without a higher power. And I don't know if you call that Jesus, Allah, whatever. You need that higher power. You need that higher power to help you, but you also need somebody right here next to you and say, sis, you can do it. I've been through it. I was the worst, and look at me now. At my clinic, you can't just buy it. They make you do your counseling, and every week, if you're homeless. That's how it was at a clinic that I worked at. On one side of the clinic was the methadone clinic, and on the other side was the mental health clinic. And so many of the clients had mental health and they had their methadone support team, because it does become a team effort. It really is. And gave me a chance, and they saved my life. I know that's right. It's a team effort. It really is. You can't do it alone, man. Just like you really can't be an addict by yourself. You know, addict is a teamwork. You got to have a team. It's a team approach to even being an addict. That's why you'll link up with anybody looking for help to get high, looking for assistance to find somewhere to live. That's a team effort too. And being clean is also a team effort. My Father God. It's that higher power. You can't do it by yourself. And like we were saying, these drugs today, even the weed, like the weed of today, it looks nothing like the weed of 30 years ago. The man-made farm, like it's a different type of thing, in which I know, it's chemicals in that. It's just no good. It's no good. Sparrow Health, okay. The help is out there. It ain't plentiful like it used to be, more places you can go for help, but the help is there. A mother and a survivor, yes. The help is there, and I'm glad to hear that you helping other people. Because you can't do it by yourself. I mean, I watch the videos, like the street sector videos, and the people who are struggling out here using every city. I mean, LA is probably like the biggest example of that, but every city is fighting this disease. LA, Philadelphia, Kensington. They're not smoking regular weed anymore. I don't know what the hell it is. They not. What Cat said, they smoking gas, whatever joke he made, but it's true. It's not the same. And anytime you put any chemical into your brain and you smoke that and put it in your brain, it's going to change your brain chemistry. And that's usually not for the better. Any resources I know, trust me, I know it's hard. Sometimes it takes you moving away from the place where you were getting high 100%. People, places, and things. People, places, and things. If I'm addicted to the casino, I'm not living next door to no damn casino, because that's going to make my journey even harder. If I'm addicted to whatever, I got to get out of the space of where that is. I see you. Thank you, MY. Oh, thank you. Addiction is a bitch. And in our country, we don't know what to do. We don't. We do not. The professionals are doing the best they can to assist people and help people. I've lectured about needle exchange, and if needle exchange is the right way to go. And I'm not an expert in addiction. That's not my specialty. But when I think about needle exchange, is that the right way to go, to give addicts clean needles? On the medical side of it, yes, because it reduces our numbers with hepatitis and HIV and AIDS, and I get that. But does it promote them to continue to use? Girl, I cuss so bad. Oh, Lord, I cuss so bad. We got to work on it, though, Long. We got to work on this cussing spirit. It's a spirit. It's a spirit. We have a cussing spirit. We got a cussing spirit. And we got to work on it because it ain't right. You ever listen to other people curse and you're like, ew, that sounds so, you sound terrible doing all that cussing. But when I cuss, I feel like it's warranted and it makes sense for the sentence. But we got to work on that. We got to work on that cussing. Please get help. Your life will change and you will be so much more happier. Even if you can't see it now, trust me. Yes. 100%. 100%. We got to work on that. Oh, I can't stand when somebody don't cuss right. Now, I don't like when little kids cuss, but when they cuss and they mess it up, it's funny. But I don't like that because you're being too grown. But when somebody cuss wrong, it's like, oh, you wasted a cuss word and you put it together like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, Hillbilly, you're right. It's worth it. And you got to be able to see that it's going to be worth it. But I understand it's hard. It's absolutely hard. It's difficult. I think prevention, I always preach for prevention. Even when we talk about teen pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, hit the, right? Y'all forgot about that. No, they doing pretty good with the likes. Okay, y'all. Thank you. I think it's important about prevention. Like what prevention is key. Like what is getting our kids and adults addicted? Like why are they seeking this drug? What's missing? Is it the family? Is it the environment? Like what is it? Of course, you're going to have people that become alcoholics, become drug addicts, but our numbers are crazy in comparison to other developed nations. Like Canada is not dealing with this. Sweden is not dealing with this in the same way that we are. I think you just tap. If you tap your screen, it'll like it. But if you're watching from your TV, then I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how to make a comment. Can we make comments if you're on your... You probably can. I just don't know how to do it. I think maybe like later in the month, I'm going to go on StreamYard and do StreamYard. I just got to get my other laptop back. Because in StreamYard, I can invite people up. Once, I'm going to do that maybe like later on. But in StreamYard, I'm going to invite people to the panel. On this, you can invite people to the panel. 3 dots on the top to the right. Right. Yeah, that's another way you can do it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But as far as addiction is concerned, we're just going to keep fighting that fight. And prevention is key. Preventing your kids from becoming addicts. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we prevent our kids? Not saying that the people who are already addicted are lost, but how do we prevent a new generation of addicts? Because the middle schoolers are already vaping. They're vaping. And so they're forming addictive behaviors and habits in middle school. And then in high school, that vaping habit is going to turn into a weed habit and possibly an alcohol habit. And I think some parents, of course, parents don't want their children to be addicts, but they kind of excuse some behaviors, thinking it's just a teenager, they'll grow out of it. Most kids, or I'm going to say most kids will, but the ones that don't are now going to have an addiction that they're going to have to fight for the rest of their life. So the prevention really starts there. We go to schools and start bringing awareness, even if it's just to your local schools. Absolutely. Now, statistically, remember the DARE program? They say the DARE program has a low rate of success, that it doesn't work. And that, these police officers go into schools and they show the kids what cocaine look like and weed and stay away from these things. I think even though the numbers may look like we're still getting a lot of kids who are getting addicted, the ones that you prevent is a win-win, in my opinion. You still winning. You still winning. Hi, Kathy. I think you still winning. Prevention looks like Boys and Girls Club, places for kids to go, support, making sure family systems are healthy. How can we help families? Like, that's prevention. But so many of those programs are gone because of lack of funding. I can't even count how many jobs I've lost, contracts that I've lost because of budgeting. I might accept a contract that I know only has 15 or 20 more months left on the grant, and it's not renewed. So a lot of our programs are gone. I've lost many contracts over the last 30 years because of funding. That's all that matters. You got to win. So you can't count on the government to save your children. You got to save your kids. You, the parent, has to save their kids. Oh, look, Cowboy Eats, he all right. Cowboy Eats is all right. Cowboy Eats is he fine. He fine. He fine. He been riding his four-wheeler. He's so happy that he could get his four-wheeler back out. I ain't seen him in a while. When the last time I saw Cowboy Eats? The last time I was in Jersey, I had bought him a toy. I gave it to his mom to give him. That's the last time I see it. It was like a couple weeks ago. That's my little cousin. That's my little cousin. He doing all right. He better. That little boy was a trip. And the girls are big. The girls that used to do my intro, those are my nieces. They getting big. One going to middle school. The other one just made what did she make? Something about the monthly student. And then the other day I had to call her because she was reading, and when she reads, then she earns points or something like that. Girl, them kids doing good. Them kids make me pay them. They start getting hit to what was going on, and they want payment now for any video, any video. I've never heard of their program. We just stay on their necks. That's it. They know they can't come to us about anything. They can come to us, yes, 100%. I don't think DARE is like in all the schools like they used to be. Their funding probably was cut. Oh, excuse me. Help a difference, but they cut funding and we need that funding. Oh, funding is horrible. Funding is so horrible, especially for us in mental health. Well, usually if there's going to be governmental cuts, they come after social services immediately. So when they talk about, oh, we cut in welfare, all of our funding is all wrapped up in that umbrella. So when they cut those services, they cut community-based programs, they cut all of that. Yeah, I don't think I ever had a DARE program in school when I was in school. I know about DARE, but I don't believe I ever sat through a DARE program. But statistically, they say DARE does not work. And I think they just looking at the fact that, yeah, kids are still going to be using and you still going to have that. But it's tough. And if you already have a family that's struggling and broken and dysfunctional, how are they going to, be able to support their kids in a way that's going to be healthy? Was our neighbor, and he was a drug cop. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a program that could work. I mean, they just said it just doesn't work in a way to totally prevent. I think we could take, if we look at what other countries do that are successful. I mean, it's a broader effort not to have drugs in their country. They're not worried about a little family of Mexicans coming into Mexico with their clothes on their back and that's it. They're worried about the cartels that come in or attempt to come into their countries with on trains, planes, and automobiles to bring in drugs. Like, their priority is the bigger picture, to keep drugs out of the country, prevent the drugs from being in their country when the drugs are freely coming into this country. We ain't making fentanyl at a mass amount in somebody's kitchen. That shit is coming from Colombia, Mexico, wherever it's coming from, and feeding the addicts. And it's a lot to feed. So it ain't just a little family coming over the border from Texas and they carrying a ton of fentanyl on their back. They're not. University and eighth, same full scholarship. That's what I'm talking about. For our children, so they can go there 100%. We in my community, I just saw our Boys and Girls Club got a $50,000 who gave them funding from a I think it was a some company gave them $50,000. That's not government money. That's from a company. I think it was a cell phone company donated $50,000 to the Boys and Girls Club. A lot of people, celebrities that, have gone to Boys and Girls Club, they oftentimes are really the silent donors to the Boys and Girls Club, but those clubs are hanging on by a string. They hanging on by a string. And the kids depend on those clubs. They get support, they get tutoring, they learn teamwork. They get a lot from clubs like that, and those clubs are going away. The funding is going away. The funding is going away. If you're not getting private donors or company donors, then good luck. Good luck. Yeah, we don't have as many centers as we did. I think we down to one. I think we had like 4. Let me see, we got down to maybe 2. I don't really work with kids like that anymore, so I don't know, but I think it's about 2. And I only really know about the donations because I'm friends with the director. So I just saw it on his Facebook page. But we don't have we don't have it anymore. They don't have the funding. They don't get the funding. And now that we're in a war, well, I can't even say the military is going to get funding, because if you know anybody in the military, you know that money is not directly going to the soldiers either. The soldiers be calling home and begging for people to send them food and rations and different stuff. I remember during one of the wars in the 2000s or in the 90s, families was literally sending their kids like silly strings. I forget what it was used for, but they could see where there was live wires if they sprayed the string like in front of them. Like, why your mom got to send you silly string and you in the middle of war, and something like that is not provided by the government. It's crazy. It's a mess. It's a total mess. Even our shelters. Try to find a shelter. When I was working in the community and have a family and they're homeless, living in their car or not, don't even have a car. Back in the day, I could call one or two shelters. I could have that family in the shelter. Now, shit. Mm-mm. Nope. No shelters. No shelters. Shelters are booked. Shelters are booked. No more beds. Closing down. They used to have a really good shelter program for families. They could stay in the shelter was an apartment. They had bought an apartment. Um, they had bought a big building and it had like 5 or 6, maybe even 10 apartments in it. And the families could stay there for 2 years and, work and save their money. And they had a team support, all of that. And when that program closed, I cried. I said, damn. I knew so many people that had come through that program, learned a skill and are self-sufficient, even to this day. Thank you, Hillbilly. Even to this day, they still self-sufficient because of that program. When that program died, like lost their funding, I was like, damn, that was one of the best ones. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm going to come over and subscribe. Y'all go to subscribe. I wish I had a mod in here that they could go and click and find your channel and put it up in here. I don't know how to do that. But I'm going to find your channel and then I'm going to share it on my community wall. Let me write that down because, my memory is gone. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me find me a piece of paper. I'll find your channel. What's your channel? Can you? Oh, Hillbilly Express? Okay. I'll share it on my community wall. But yeah, it's the fight we fight, and it's the fight we fight. It is a fight that we are fighting. But I think I agree. Like prevention is key. Prevention is key. Prevention is key for teenage pregnancy too. But our teenage pregnancy numbers are low in this country. They're getting lower because our teens are smarter. Our girls are smarter. Even the boys are even the boys are smarter. You are long. It really is the key, and prevention is everything. It is everything. It is everything. But unfortunately, they try to work backwards for a lot of things, and then it just doesn't work. They work backwards. That's what I say about needle exchange. I feel like giving an addict a needle, a clean needle, is working backwards. I hear a lot of people. That's why our pregnancy rates are low because women don't want to have babies like they did before. Someone was telling me that there was a time in our history that women were paid to get pregnant because the numbers were getting so low and nobody was having a baby. And that might have been around the time when, there was women could go on birth control because that wasn't always a thing. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. So, and it's looking like that again. Like women are like, I'm not having a baby. And men are saying, I don't want no babies. And then with, people just having access to preventing that from happening, that's it. That's it. And especially not even understanding like what our future is going to look like now. Some of the news reports is I don't even want to hear it. Like I don't even want to hear it. And you really can't get a lot of good information over on TikTok. TikTok be coming up, like people who really following like all of this politics of it all, they will give you some good information about why are we in this situation, what's going on. Like it's condoning the behavior. That's my opinion, but I always say I'm more NA and AA mindset when it comes to addiction and sobriety. But I'm lenient a little bit. I'm a little lenient because I know people have been better because of Suboxone and methadone. If you go to some AA or NA affiliates or meetings, I think overall they all say you still an addict. So some people who go into those meetings, they don't disclose that they're on methadone or Suboxone because they don't want to be judged in that way. So they keep it a secret. I mean, I've worked with clients who for years I never knew they were on Suboxone or methadone. And they kept it a secret. Some of them was because one of the reasons was because they wanted Xanax, and typically psychiatrists not going to prescribe Xanax if you are taking an opiate, like if you're taking that blocker, you have a history of addiction and opiate addiction, and so they won't prescribe Xanax. Um, and so then they're not getting that treatment for the anxiety. So it becomes a little touchy with that. Life, and I don't make a high either. And it don't make me high either. It takes your cravings away and you can live a normal life 100%. And that's what I agree with that. 100%. 100%. People can abuse and fuck up anything. But if you go in with the mindset of you want to live a normal life, and understanding that you have a disease that needs treatment. And even if you decide, you're going to, titrate down your Suboxone, and have an end date for it, then what works for you and your team support is what's going to keep you stable, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not a drug counselor, expert, none of that. Just working in the field and just having an understanding what people have shared with me about their journey and working for a methadone clinic for a couple of years. It changes so much of the behavior, right? Of living in your opiate addiction and the things that you do to feed it versus being on Suboxone and blocking the cravings. Now your mind is clear. You're able to work, take care of your kids, live a normal life. Put me on Xanax after my father passed. It made me feel worse. I stopped and worked through my grief. It don't work for everybody. It won't. It's not going to work for everybody. And you know what? You know what the problem is? It was probably your primary care doctor, right? Your PCP. I don't like when they be messing with our drugs. Our psychiatrists, they know, would have known the better medication that's for anxiety. If you're depressed, because you're going through a depressive episode and grieve, probably like Celexa would have been better for you. You know, Boost Bar. You know, it's a lot of other. We got a lot on the market, and I think I know a psychiatrist is going to have more awareness of meds that you could have used. Them primary care doctors, we need them because we don't have a lot of psychiatrists. Y'all know I'm fake talking in this microphone. This don't work. Um, but we need the PCPs because the PCP is, our first line sometimes when people are having mental health issues. But we would like for them to tell their patients to see a psychiatrist because they have a better understanding. You know, like our drug reps for psychiatry, they don't go to PCP offices. They come to us. They come to our offices and they tell us about what new drugs are on the market, what can help, blah, blah, blah. So that's why mental health should go through a psychiatrist. Just chills you out. It's for anxiety, yes. But it's also addicting and it can be abused. So we got to be careful with Xanax and anything in that family of drugs. We do have anti-anxiety medicines that are not addicting. Now, some doctors, hillbilly, some doctors will, some won't. Some don't. Primary D's be guessing. They do. First to a therapist. They do. It's just not their expertise. It's not their expertise. We need them because if it depending on where you live, it's going to be months before you get an appointment with a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is who prescribes medications in most states. Now, where I live in PA, we have our nurse practitioners who have a doctorate in psychiatry. They have they can write prescriptions, certain prescriptions, nothing like they can't do Xanax or Clonopine but they can do other medications. So that helps us. But a lot of patients, they want to see a psychiatrist. Okay. For a couple of months, once my doctors stopped prescribing, I didn't get any more. Never had a problem, thank God. Yeah, if you took it like if that's really Xanax, and it's for temporary use. Okay, you going through grief, or you got social anxiety, or maybe you got to take a plane ride and you scared of planes, or you scared of bridges, or like you need it for certain short-term use. It's not supposed to be something that you're on for years. The manufacturers will tell you that because it is processed in the liver and the kidneys, and over time it can destroy them. Next thing you know, you on dialysis. And that's why most doctors, a lot of psychiatrists will give like the Ativan and Xanax, Clonopin as a PRN, as needed. I know people who hold on to their 30 pills for a year. I mean, they literally got to throw them out and get a new script because they don't use them like that. But if they know they about to go into a situation where they feel overwhelmed, then they know they want to take one. I'm about to get on a plane. I'm gonna be on this plane for 5 hours. I'm gonna feel anxious. I'm drink this in it. Took them her whole life, and it was because she had anxiety. shake all over, and they will give her Xanax, and that helped her. Oh, I know people that have been on Xanax for 30 years. You couldn't pry it out their fingers. You couldn't pry it out their fingers. You have to look up a nurse practitioner who also does psychiatry. Yeah, you not every state gives them the privilege. Not all states have it, like their nurse practitioners. We were so desperate in PA because we didn't have a lot of psychiatrists, and that's when they did it about 12 years ago. But they help. They're a big help. You can get to you're in PA. Oh, then you can get a nurse practitioner. They are supervised by a psychiatrist. Every clinic, mental health clinic, has to have a psychiatrist that oversees them. Nephew was, and we have to drive to Texas. Um, Suboxone's daily and a daily vitamin, and I take an inhaler. And if that works for you, then that works for you. I didn't even know Suboxone came in pills. I thought we were still at liquid. That's how long it's been. I've been in the game. Methadone got pills too? I left methadone at the liquid stage. Even though some of the clients was holding the liquid in their mouth, spitting it out and selling it on the street. Told you it's always somebody willing to fuck up. Okay. You can get it on pills or strips. Wow. And it takes a while. It takes time to build that right medication, right team. Like, you got to get there. Like, people get frustrated with psychiatry because they're like, oh, that pill didn't work. That didn't do anything. I got too many side effects. You got to work with it. And oftentimes it's hereditary and genetic. So if something worked for your mom or your grandma, then it's probably going to work for you too. You know, if they got a nice little combination of medicine that they take and you got the same issues that they have, then what they take is probably going to help you. In the belly, and they say it hurts like heck. A shot, I did hear about the shot. But why does it hurt? I wonder why that big that needle is. Ooh. And would the needle remind somebody of getting high again? Unless it's like one of the weight loss needles, but I don't know. Would that trigger it? Using a needle, I wonder if that triggers using. If they use the needle, it's a big needle. They show me, oh, heck no, give me the pill. Give me the pill, give me the liquid. Probably because the Suboxone is like a heavy liquid, like, so it takes a big needle to get it through. Hi, Alice. That's probably why. Ugh. But is it once a month? I wonder if the Suboxone is once a month. I can imagine for some people that's a better deal because back when I worked in the methadone clinic, they had to come every day until you got takeouts. Every day, 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was, but like we would always say, look, you could come here every day because every day you found a way to get high and you would walk over a mountain, swim across a lake. You can do it. I never used a needle when I was a user. I always took them by mouth, never took them any other way. Thank God. Do y'all watch Real Right and Uncut? Do you watch any of those? Is that a trigger for you? If you watch any of like the street stuff, what what's the other one? The bigger channel. where they're out there, these YouTubers are talking to addicts and going to where addicts are. Suck 'em. Okay, I worked in the lab and they came in once a month. Okay, I think once a month is better. Once a month, if you are also getting like counseling support, like you getting some other than just getting your shot and leaving, because we know addiction and sobriety is a team effort, a team approach for sobriety. So I would hope it wasn't just like, here's your shot and go about your business. For some people, that's going to work. I think more people need support. To the lab for the blood. Oh, once a week. Oh, you watch those shows? Does that trigger? Is that a trigger for you? Because some people say, I just did a lecture. I did a lecture on addiction, just a short lecture. But part of the lecture that I did with students was I would do because Kensington and Philly is where everyone talks about, when it comes to addiction out here on the East Coast. People come, in our surrounding states to come to Kensington because it's an open drug market. And they have 5 live cameras up and down Kensington. And so I show that part of the lecture is I have that on one of the big screens. And I just have the students look at Kensington and we look at people nodding, we look at people using, we look at just the whole community of drug addiction and drug users, right? And I learned that I needed to tell the students what was going to happen during that lecture. And one student was like, I can't be here. I lived on Kensington. I was one of those people. It will trigger me. And I was like, don't come. You don't have to come. Another student in confidence told me that she was lived on Kensington and was an addict and a prostitute and all the things, but it didn't bother her, and that she would come to the lecture. So I didn't know. Does it? I guess for some people it would bother them, trigger them. For some people it doesn't. Giving shot because they were holding it in their mouths and reusing it. Yeah, they sell it. I can't do it. I have way too many responsibilities. Cold brew after a long log out from work. No liquor, please. Some people can drink, and be fine. Other people can't. If you got addiction, unfortunately, you can't. Soft white underbelly, yes. Be a trigger for watching that. Does it, Hillbilly? Yeah. Respectfully, then I probably, if I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't. If I was addicted to ice cream, and I might be, I'm not going to watch people eat ice cream. I can't do that. Soft white underbelly. Like soft white underbelly. I got a problem with him right now, so I really don't watch his channel anymore. But Real Right and Uncut, or of course, if you know me, Atlanta Street Interviews. I hate him, the content creator. Anybody that takes advantage of women who are vulnerable can kiss my ass. So, you know. I gave up alcohol because it was messing up my. I'm doing Oh yeah, some of these people are very nice. That's why we have to pray. You don't know. You don't know. And if you look at people who have addiction and they come from all walks of life, they do. They come from all walks of life. No, it's soft white underbelly, but I don't like him anymore. I don't like him anymore. Now I love being a peer support person in our meetings. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's about that. It's about community. It really is. And somebody who understands, the struggle, somebody who gets it for support. It's about that. We used to have a paid program called peer support for people with mental health issues, mental illness, and it was a paid position. Hey, Ann. Hey, Ann. To me, is any man that drinks excessively, slurs, girl, you better run the other way. Girl, where's Ed? You talking about Peach, brother? I was thinking about Ed today. I was thinking about Ed today. Alice, why you in here starting trouble? Where Ed been? Why you talking about Ed? Because somebody said an alcoholic. How dare you? Ah, woo! Oh, Lord, that triggered your mind about Ed. Leave Ed alone. Girl, I don't know where Ed is. He had his little channel going. He had a microphone that worked. And then all of a sudden he was going. He can't be bothered. This ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. I'm sure he's still watching his sister over there acting like a cuckoo bird. No, he's still Kathy. No, he's still around because I had rolled through the mama's live. She live 24 hours a day. And he was sitting on the couch calling her out because she was about to lie on something. Ed said, "You lying." um, and it really does make a difference, and you get a paycheck. Yeah. Hillbilly, stick with that program. That's a good program. Y'all still got it in your state. I don't think we got it no more. Called himself having, girl, Ed was in love with me, Ann. Ed was in love with me. I said, Ed, I'm spoken for. Girl, he had a t-shirt with my face on it and everything. Ed was in love. Ed was in love. I said, Ed, but he got a girlfriend now. Ed got a girlfriend now. He got over me. Especially once I told him, Ed, if I had to choose, I would choose your daddy. Your daddy is nice looking. If I had to choose, you a little boy, and your daddy a grown man. Let's get off of Ed, because I ain't going to do it but make him come in my life. Hey, Ed, we miss you. We love you. Oh, Jesus. Kentucky, very small town. You blessed to still have that. I think we lost that. Beefy, that's my drunk man. Oh. I ain't never had no drunk. Now, weed smoker, I don't have a few of them. But I ain't never messed with no drunk. Y'all don't have no hotel. Well, where your outside guests stay at? Like a town over? Do you live near the Whitakers? Because I'm waiting for somebody to tell us something. How did 3 people disappear from the face of the earth? I'm reaching out to anybody who has seen Timmy. Let me get it right now. Timmy, Lorraine. Why do I want to call him Frank? Timmy, Ray. I miss Timmy. God damn it. If it is no way in the world that now we talking about the Whitakers, y'all. Sorry, we on the Whitakers. It is no way in this here United States that Betty Whitaker should be taken and not have any contact with her family. I don't give a damn. It's unbelievable to me. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that they have not allowed her to see them. that we know about. It's unbelievable. It's kidnapping. Huge trail rides everywhere, and it's a blast. We have cabins. Oh, for rent. Ooh. Somebody got to know where they are. I'm asking anybody to violate HIPAA. Send me a picture. I ain't gonna show nobody. Please. I heard that. I hope this ain't true, but I did hear that Betty was supposedly moving with a subscriber. I don't believe that to be true. You think that's true? You going to Patrick's trial? Ooh! Lady K says she going too. Lady K. Now I hope Lady K and Toddy don't meet up at the same courthouse, because I hate to see them two go at a fight. If I was there, I'd say, break it the fuck up. They disappeared. Somebody had told me, they didn't tell me, but I heard that they had Timmy in a hotel. I said, what? Lady K said she's going, yo. Lady K and Toddy cannot be there together. My God, today. They might. I got another court case I'm trying to go to, honestly, in Atlanta. I'm trying to go to productions court. I got a whole nother case. In my mukbang sector, we had a unaliving, and I'm trying to go to that court. I would love to go to that court. Patrick, I want y'all to go because I want to find out what happened, but I really want to see Timmy. I love Lady K. I like Toddy. I'm sorry that they, it happens. But, oh, God, I don't get it. Did Toddy get fired from her real job? I thought she was retired. I don't know. She tells a story about working in the prisons. I don't know about that. I don't know if she was, I thought she was retired. Timmy was the reason you started your channel. Timmy was hysterical. I couldn't imagine how sad he is. Marcus said hi. Tell Marcus I said kiss my ass. Got fired for sleeping on the job. Ooh, girl, what? Knocked out and fell asleep. All right, good night. Good night. Talking about Marcus said hi. Marcus knew he could kiss my ass. If this was Marcus's head, this pop. All around. Oh. Yep, I heard they had Timmy in a hotel. I said, oh my God. I hope that's not true. Oh, I hope that's not true. Right, I did a video on that. Like, he on house arrest. Stuck in that house. Him and his dog. I guess he don't work. I don't know. Well, usually they'll let you have windows if you have a job. Gypsy Rose. I know what you're talking about. No. Girl, as a content creator, you cannot get caught up in other people's lives like that. I mean, yeah, we nosy, yeah, we do our commentary, but girl, it's a line has to be drawn, honey. Patrick tells two different stories, and I'm going to be discussing it this coming week. Girl, Patrick just be out here lying. Oh, Patrick just be lying. That's what Patrick messed up, but I still don't think it's fair that only Patrick is in trouble. Patrick, in my opinion, was not the brains of the operation when it came down to the money. That was Eric. Patrick is just getting off, whatever little amount that Eric sent him. So Patrick is one of them type of people where you gotta set limits with Patrick. I didn't like some of the shit he was doing with Timmy, and I think had the channel continue, it would have got worse. Taking Timmy to the mall and trying to sexualize him with ladies' underwear and shit like that. That's like doing that to a child. Timmy's mindset was like a child, like a 10-year-old. You gonna throw lingerie at a 10-year-old, you bitch? After that, I was done with Patrick. Eric is the fast talker. Eric is the one that walked away with $30K and didn't have to pay. People don't understand Patrick charges are from before. Yeah, Eric entered the pic, and a lot of people didn't understand that. Yeah, well, Patrick was already on probation for something else. Was it domestic violence? He was already on probation. And so when he got arrested in the new case, it violated his probation. And that's why he's on house arrest. Yes, Timmy has intellectual disability. So some of the things that, Patrick, oh shit. Some of the things Patrick he was crossing the line a little bit. And then even flirting with Betty, had Betty getting moist. I didn't have to say that. But, flirting with Betty, I was like, take Timmy fishing, walk down the street, go out to eat. Don't do that. Don't step over the line like that. Because a lot of people aren't going to think that's funny. And those who do, it might be starting to get weird. It's getting weird. And I think had it not been disrupted, Patrick would have did something weird and it just would have fell apart anyway. Because his boundaries were getting more and more blurred. And he was getting a little bossy. I don't work with many families. Several of them home look like that. Look like the Whitaker home. You think I was going to walk in somebody's house and say, you need to clean this shit? Or I'm going to do this, or you better do that. Now, if they had children and they were going to lose their children, I'll say, well, these are the things that you must do in order not to lose your kids. I'm not going to work harder than you. You gotta do this. They would sexualize Timmy's body. Ugh. Yes. Hillbilly, thank you. Yes, it started to get weird. I didn't like that shit. That's the same way other channels have turned me off, and I've been very critical, of those channels. Usually men who are, interviewing women who are drug addicted or, got a lot going on. And then you take advantage of that, you bitch, you? No. Mm-mm. No. So I think Patrick was going to go too far because the shit he thought was funny was not funny for someone with intellectual disabilities. Timmy wanted a buddy. Timmy should have been connected to an agency where he could be around other people with the same disabilities and been in a safe environment to color, to learn, some skills that he should have learned and is capable of learning, how to shop, how to cook for himself, certain things that he would be capable of doing. Not going to freaking a lingerie store and no, man. No, you out of pocket for that. You out of pocket for that. And then making all this money and not giving Timmy no money. Timmy, there's a lot of things that Timmy needed money for. Helping him. Oh, he shot a big pew pew. Timmy was scared. I know he ain't had my Timmy around no gun. I didn't watch the content when it was Patrick and Timmy running around. I didn't. I didn't like Timmy in the bed with Eric. That made my stomach hurt. I was done. What is happening? I didn't like that they only took Timmy and left everybody else at the house, isolating Timmy. I didn't like it because y'all don't know them like that. He did. He made money. Oh my God. A machine gun. He had my Timmy with a machine gun. Robin Jackson. Oh shit. I ain't even see that. Hey Frank. Robin Jackson. Robin Patrick feet. See, that's what I'm saying. It was going too far. It was going too far. And then we was hearing rumors that he had SA charges, which he denied. It was just going too far. Well, it's over now. I, I I would be very shocked if Betty actually moved. And that would make me even sadder. So now she's lost her family and her home and her dogs. It's so sad that nobody in the Whitaker family, I mean the younger ones, they're just all so broken and dysfunctional. There's not one niece that can advocate for the family, that can go to court and make things make sense, that can get a channel and say, I'm a Whitaker. Can you help? Can you help us? This is what we're trying to do. Like nobody. And she did not. She did move in. She did move in with Gloria. Oh, that's so sad. She must cry herself to sleep every night. I would tear up the whole town of Odd if somebody came in and stole my family members. I would, they would see me every day at that goddamn Department of Aging in their lobby. They will get a restraining order against me because every day I would be there saying, "Where the fuck is my family? You bastard bitches! How dare you?" But nope. Larry just sitting on the step waiting for BJ to come back. BJ running the holler, trying to get high. Nobody else is doing nothing, waiting for somebody to come along and fix the problem, and ain't nobody gonna fix shit. I I wouldn't sleep. I ain't sleeping, and nobody else in Odd is gonna sleep until somebody tell me where my family is. And hell, the town ain't but so big. Mm-hmm. So whatever nursing homes or facilities that they have, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. That's why I'm telling y'all, send me a picture. Nobody's coming to help it. Nobody's touching that shit. Nobody. They want to tell because of that. All right, well, now she's living with Gloria. What's the excuse? county. Now she's not, if she's living with Gloria, and I don't know who Gloria is, let's assume Gloria has a well kept, put together situation. Now she's out of that environment. She was their caregiver. What's stopping her now from having visits with her family? We ain't talking about her getting custody and all of that. We know at this point she's elderly. Okay, where are her visits? Where are her visits with her family? It's over with now. Last week done it. What happened last week? You posted it on your channel. I'll go look. It's not right. It's cruel. It is cruel and unusual punishment. I've seen people get custody back of their children after they don't burn them, after they don't had essay on their kids. They don't did the worst to a child, and they still got custody back of their children, or at minimum visits. That lady didn't do nothing to them that should warrant her never, ever seeing her family again. 100% not. That is cruel and unusual punishment. Unbelievable. Well, they made Betty sign in the three over and what I have been doing. Charge her with abuse. Oh my God. Hey, Bruce. Oh no. So she lost her rights. She lost her rights. Like when we're dealing with children, when a parent loses their parental rights, there are no visits. There are no visits. It's a done deal. Your kids are gone when you lose your parental rights. Oh my God. She did need a lawyer. She needed a lawyer. Oh my God. I know the records are sealed. I've been trying to get those records, but in West Virginia they seal those records. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh hillbilly, no. Oh my God. That wasn't right. That wasn't right. That makes sense. They won't see him anymore. Wow. Damn. 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 Oh my God. Mm. 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 Damn. 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 I could imagine them doing that. Yeah. Damn. That's cruel. That's bad. Damn. Oh, they needed a lawyer. They needed a lawyer bad. Now they needed an advocate. They really needed an advocate. Mm, 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 mm. Could you imagine that? Damn. Is the one who called. He called several times. He called so much that he knew the caseworker who was in charge of their case. Remember, he called and they talked like they were buddies. What did he think he was going to get out of that? And then he said, like, he made, like, oh, y'all don't know other stuff. Like, I know other things that happened. What? What? Tell us what? Please tell us. Shine a light. Betty could have got a lawyer, but her age is what made a difference. I would say, like, the lawyer or an advocate for not them being returned to her custody, but allowing her to share the custody in a way where she would still have the right to visit them. How could they do that to them? That's a cold hearted motherfucker. Unless it's something we don't know. And the only thing worse than the worst things that could have been going on that I don't believe Betty did, but is abusing them physically or sexually. If she was abusing them, if her, Larry, and BJ were abusing them physically or sexually, then 100% they should be out of their custody and they should never have to see them ever again. But if those two things didn't happen and you took them away from their family because the house was dirty, then you're a bitch. More care, and that she could not give them that. I agree. I agree about Betty she should be able to see them. But if they if they added the criminal piece to it and said to her, if you don't sign this, because what she's going to hear is if you don't sign this, you're going to prison. So of course she's going to sign it. But signing that said, I'm never going to see my family again. I want to flip this motherfucking table over. I want to flip this. Mm. To Lord. Oh, girl, we know somebody did it to Lorraine. We know somebody did it to Lorraine. How old is Timmy? 48? And they claim it was the man down the street. And I'm looking at Larry like, if you knew the man down the street abused your sister in that way, tell me the next story of how you went down there and whooped his ass. Because if that ain't the next thing that's about to come out of your mouth, then shut up. Because you and Ray and Kenny and all the rest of y'all should have went down there and beat him within an inch of his life. But the judge said, they said he told her no way she would ever be returned to their custody. Okay, Judge, we get that. Oh my God. Mm. 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 And I know damn well Mark didn't want to get involved. Soft white underbelly. I know he was done with it. He didn't want to get involved. But in some way, I don't know what I was like, almost like Mark, like help them, like help them. And I know Mark had been through it with them, but it was like, can you help one more time? Can you help one more time? I was like, Mark, can you help one more time? Not you, but send a lawyer. Just pay for a lawyer. Just pay for a lawyer. Hi, Jeffrey. Mark, just pay for a lawyer. Just send a lawyer in. You ain't got to be involved. You can say, Betty, I got you a lawyer. have a nice, and hang up. Send that lawyer in. Pay for that lawyer. I was like, Mark, can you save them? Can you save them one more time? Mark said right over there in LA and ain't said a fuck word, but on there crying about the prostitute that he had interviewed, her and her mama, took her to bed, gave her an apartment, and laid down with her. And the girl was 23 years old, and he damn near 70, and he over there in a full-fledged so-called relationship, so he couldn't think straight. There was someone offering to pay for the lawyer, according to top. I heard nobody would take her to the lawyer office. Mm-mm. And I don't think that no, it would have worked out better if Mark was her sugar daddy with his old decrepit stank in ass. I don't like that. Your job was you're out there interviewing and helping, and you helped yourself to one of the prostitutes who was an addict. And if you loved her so much, are you raising her son who now doesn't have a mother or a father? What happened to her son? She wasn't the first and she won't be the last. Mark's a perv. Anywho, so I was like, damn, Mark. Okay, good night, Ann. Good night. I was just like, I quietly said it, Hillbilly. I was like you. I was like, Mark, send a lawyer. Just send a lawyer, Mark. Damn. Just send a lawyer. Mark got money on top of money. Sending a lawyer, and I ain't talking about no lawyer that they found in West Virginia. Send somebody, send an LA lawyer. Mark could have spent 20 bands on that, and that shit wouldn't even have touched his money. With his dead mother, Mark didn't care for that child. Mark was probably like, can somebody come and get this child? All Mark was worried about was getting them old balls sucked. I didn't even know she was back on drugs. Really? You're around drug addicts all day, every day, bitch. And you didn't know she was. I can't get on Mark because Mark didn't come and get the lawyer that he should have got for the Whitakers because he was still mad at them too behind BJ because although these people are around, he should understand addiction and families. Said they wouldn't take the case. Damn. That's why Mark could have got somebody from LA. Came in their Gucci shoes and their Gucci suit. And as soon as they walked in with their Gucci bag, everybody would be like, whoa, we in trouble now. We got a high-powered LA lawyer up in this bitch. Case dismissed. Mark sat in LA and ain't do shit. Nothing. He did nothing. Because he ain't want nobody to ask him about his books and what he did and where the money go. And because Mark was not a good steward of that money either. Why the fuck would you send Betty $14,000? $5,000, $6,000. Oh my God. All that money going right up BJ's damn nose. Oh yeah, it would have had to be a lawyer from out of state, and all he would have had to get was West Virginia privileges, and that ain't no big deal to get. Or work under a West Virginia lawyer's license. They all know how to do it. Mark could have spent 20 bands and that ain't nothing but a video to him. He could have saved this situation. Now we gonna blame Mark's ass. Should we do a video? He's still making video money off them videos to this day. He still don't want nobody to use no clips or nothing from him. He'll strike your ass so fast. Oh my God. Mm, 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 mm. know BJ was roughhousing Betty to get that money out of her. I know she was. If they made them sign that deal, it's over with. It is. You're right. It's over with. Gave to Mark's first GoFundMe, and I was upset to see how much money was raised and them still living in squalor. Girl, a lot of people gave money to that. Not me, because I'm cheap. But a lot of people gave money to that. And I do GoFundMes. I do a good GoFundMe. But I said something ain't. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. He showed the records. Betty just calling. Meanwhile, Betty calling and BJ right beside her ready to hit her in the head if she didn't get the money. And then her BJ's son sitting on the porch waiting for the money to come in. And they got high. 100%. She should have had a new home day one. First year, you're right. The first year. They. But even with all of that, to never see them ever again, that's cruel. Unless something we don't know. According to Eric, it's something that we don't know. We all don't know. If it's something we don't know. Now, I know I had heard back in the day that they would put Ray in a dog cage when he was very violent. Now, I don't know if that's true. But I ain't seen no cages since we've been watching the videos. Was Ray pissy and shitty? Yes, he was. Is that neglect? Yes, it is. For somebody who's disabled. It is. So we have to think, y'all. If they were, because intellectual disability will put them kind of on the same playing field as children. If they were 8, 9, and 10 years old, let's say they were 8, 9, and 10 years old, and they lived with Betty in that squalor with feces, pissy, we would all agree that they needed to be taken away from her, right? And given an opportunity to have a better life, which would mean because they were kids that they would go into the foster care system and they would be adopted. So if you look at it in that way, although they are adults with an intellectual disability and lived in those conditions that are unacceptable, then it does make sense that they will be removed. But I think the law and many lawyers, and judges have to use common sense, right? And compassion for the situation. And so it's not as cut and dry as what we would do with children. For them, in that situation, yes, they needed to be removed, but however, forever from their family, I don't agree with that. I don't believe in that. Right. Sometimes it might be a coping mechanism and they can't handle the amount of cleaning. You think about it. That means Betty would have to clean basically 3 adults. Who could do that? And then oftentimes you don't want anybody in your house when you know your house is a mess. A social worker would have came in that house and they would have had to report that house was dirty. They would have had to report that it wasn't a good environment. And they would have been back in the same situation. Yeah, they give you time to clean up. Let's do da. But if Ray is incontinent, is Lorraine incontinent? Is Timmy incontinent at times? The bathroom wasn't always flushing, and, it was a mess. The risk of losing the kids, all the 100%, 100%. I know many of families who was in trouble because of clutter and filthiness of their house. And it was like, clean this up or you're going to lose your children. Some were able to do it and some couldn't, for whatever the reasons. But in that situation with Ray, but Ray also, although he was incontinent, was it because he wasn't taught all those years of how to use the bathroom properly? I remember Mark was there and Ray pulled his penis out and pissed. Ray, like he barely held it correctly to pee. Like that's something you're taught. A boy is taught that. The smell must have been unbearable. Oh, shit. But even with all of that, I still don't agree with the fact of really kind of forcing them to sign their rights away. Forcing them to sign their rights away. Because if that's correct and if that's what happened, then no, they're not going to have any more visits with them. And the state is done with it. And unlike children who usually will find their parents when they turn 18, if Timmy could get himself together and if he found himself a little friend and they friend say, oh, I'm going to take you to go see your auntie, there's nothing the county can do about that. If someone said to Timmy, because now let's say Timmy is in a group home, he has privileges, he goes out, maybe he's got a family who says, well, you're friends with my daughter and she goes to the same thing, whatever. And someone said, I'm going to take you to go see your aunt. And Timmy be like, really? The county can't do nothing about it. I'm going to get the concept if they have a disability. 100%. Then what the county is going to say is, okay, then he just can't sit in urine and defecate on himself. He needs to have Pampers. You need to, introduce that. We all know that's difficult to do. We know that. He told Toddy Spano that they are sitting there watching TV and Ray seen two people kissing, and he ran outside and Betty said, out that thing. Said, out that thing. Huh? Oh, God. Oh, shit. To put that thing, so he took his penis out. Ray must be cutting up at that, wherever they got Ray at. He must be cutting up. He must be cutting up, honey. Woo, y'all. Okay, let's end day 2 of the 30-day challenge. Woo! Now, let me tell you, we coming up into the work week. We're going to see how this thing work out. I'm going to I'll probably come on 7 o'clock. Look for me about 7 p.m. And we're going to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Thank you for everyone who came in. Y'all go over to Hillbilly Express. Check out her channel. I will find you, and then I'm going to put you on my community wall. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone who tap the screen. I appreciate you. Thanks, everyone that came in. And I will see you if you stop by, for day 3 of my 30-day live challenge.